Hi, friends. Do you have a client who you think sounds too nasal? Or maybe they think they sound too nasal? One of the voice pros who is currently taking the class that I teach on NeuroVocal, how to teach NeuroVocal in the studio, it's for voice teachers and vocal coaches. She asked a question about it because one of the things that we do at the very beginning of that class is we begin to understand how interoception works for a singer and how to prime a singer's brain to understand that interoception and to kind of increase that signal. So we workshopped the thing and she did the thing and then she went into her studio and she was like, wait a minute, this might make matters worse for my client who thinks he's too nasal. And I also think he's too nasal, she said. So what do I do with that? That was her question. Like, should I be doing this? Is this a good thing? He doesn't want to be too nasal. He wants to fix it. And it seems like this might be making it worse. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about your client who might be too nasal and what you can do about it. My name is Meredith Colby. I am the author of Money Notes, How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever, which introduces NeuroVocal, a way to approach singing for popular styles that is based on brain science. I coach all kinds of adult singers one-on-one, and I also teach professional training courses for voice teachers and vocal coaches. To get more information, please go to my website, neurovocal.com, and see what I've got there for you. Now, let's talk nasal. This voice pro who is in my class was a little surprised when I told her that I am thrilled when someone comes to me and thinks they're too nasal. They're going to save me so much time if they're already too nasal. And why is that? You may wonder, because she certainly did. The reason is because being too nasal is just another version of the compensatory behaviors that we all have in our singing. As singers, we came up, we were listening to grown-ups and trying to mimic them when we were 10 and 11 and 12. And we were minor birds, right? We were good at mimicking them, except they were in their 30s or 40s and we were 10 or 11. So as we came up, we were developing compensatory behaviors. Some of these behaviors are great. I mean, literally, popular styles are based on compensatory behaviors. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's only bad if it's keeping you from expressing yourself in the way that you want to express yourself. So if you have a client who's saying to you, this thing that I do is getting in the way of me being able to express myself the way I want to, then it becomes something that we want to look at and we want to help them with. Or if they have a compensatory behavior of some sort that you have observed and they're not maybe aware of, then you can offer them differences, right? Let's say that they're kind of breathy. We'll get to the nasal thing in a second, but let's say that they're kind of breathy and they don't really notice that they're breathy. And you want to show them, hey, you could have more colors to paint with. You could say, well, let's do some exercises that really encourage a little cleaner adduction and they get a nice cleaner sound. And then you can go, what do you think of that? And they go, oh, I kind of like that. Hey, great. So now they don't have to be breathy, but also you can do this other thing as well. So let's consider the possibility that being nasal or too nasal might fall in that category as well. Let's consider the possibility that being too nasal is just another compensatory behavior and that we want to offer our client ways to balance that out. That we don't want to get rid of it necessarily. We want to keep part of that because honestly, okay, I'm going to go on a tangent. I would love for you to go onto YouTube and listen to 3 pop singers in a row. I don't care what pop singers, any three pop singers in a row, and listen and go, is there a nasal quality to that sound? Because if that is the question you are asking and you have your magical ears that can hear so much more than most people can hear, what you will notice is, oh yes, there is a rather nasal quality to that sound because it is ubiquitous in popular styles. That's why I say I like it when people come to me with a nasal sound because I'm like, oh, okay. I don't have to help them figure that out. They already have that going on. All I need to do is help introduce some new behaviors that will help balance that out a little bit. So what does being too nasal come from? I'm going to say this in not fancy talk. Okay, I'm going to say this in just really plain kind of vernacular like our students might use. And that is that they're not moving enough air. That's also studio talk, by the way. For those of you who have sung in studios, you might hear people say, you don't move enough air or you're moving too much air. That's kind of microphone talk. But anyway, they're not moving enough air, which means it's basically kind of a vocal tract issue, right? So if you can show them how to make more space and how to trust that, because it's going to feel scary to them, creating a situation where they're actually moving enough air so that they have those lower fundamentals so that they experience that broader resonance rather than that very pointed small resonance that they got by not moving very much air it might freak them out a little bit. They're going to feel a little unsure. They're going to kind of feel like they're on a balance beam a little bit, and that's okay. And you can reassure them that's okay. That's part of the process. You might start them in a very small range where they're very comfortable. And I'm sure that you have exercises that encourage a sort of a wider vocal tract, ah sounds and la and dropped jaw. And you have your things. I'm sure we all have our things, right? But just know that you can't throw them into the deep end because it's going to feel super weird to them. Give them little bits, little bit at a time, a little bit of an exercise, give them a single objective. All you're going to be looking for is this kind of a sound or this kind of a feeling. And we're just going to do it in like a major third or a perfect fourth and let them get the feel for it. As they get the feel for it and they trust it more, they're like, oh, okay. So I still have that nasal quality that Chris Stapleton, my favorite singer, has, but it doesn't sound so whiny. It sounds more like Chris Stapleton. I don't know why I thought of Chris Stapleton just now. You'll be able to offer this to them as a way to offset or complement this compensatory behavior that they have developed over the years. So you won't be saying to them, you did a bad thing and this is a terrible sound and rah, rah, rah. You're going to be saying to them, the thing that you're doing is a good thing and it works for millions of singers. And also, let's try this. Let's add this other thing to it and see what you think of that. See how it feels. Baby steps, little at a time. It's going to feel weird. Have fun with that. I'm Meredith Colby. Have a great week.